Hello and welcome. It's 8 a.m. by the clock, so it's time for the Breakfast Club. I'm here, Sonal, Mehrotra, Kapoor in Mumbai.
And I'm Toya, Singh, joining you from right here in New Delhi. First, let's take a look at everything we have for us in the show today. Let's take a look.
Is the Gen Z really the zombie generation? Why am I asking you this? But because 1 in 4 Indians are sleep deprived. Now that is a scary statistic. Also on on days when we are talking about insomnia, we discuss different ways in which you can better your sleep cycle. More on that on the program.
It's the World Table Tennis Day. On the program, we discuss the upswing of table tennis in India, and the 10-time national TT champion, Sharath Kamal, joins us live on the show.
There is a new champion in town, and that is Gukesh D. He's scripted history, winning the candidates tournament. He's now eyeing the world chess title, also becoming the youngest ever to make India proud.
After I won the tournament, I haven't had too much time to think about the match. But obviously, I'm super excited to be playing for the world title.
And now we have for you an IPL update. So IPL 2024, which match exactly? MI versus RR. The highlights, RR wins by 9 wickets. So Jaiswal finished as RR's top scorer with 104 of 60 balls. And RR is the top ranked side. They have 6 wins from 7 games. It's not just that, Mumbai sits 6th as we speak in the points table.
All right then, so that's the lineup on the show today, but let's begin with a question that we have for all of you this morning. Did you sleep well last night? Did you wake up feeling refreshed, ready to sort of seize the day? Well, data suggests that if I were to go out and ask this question to Indians, 1 in 4 would say no.
India is the second most sleep-deprived country in the whole world, right after Japan. And according to the latest study, this is by local circles, 61% of Indians surveyed got less than 6 hours of uninterrupted, that's the key word there, sleep at night.
Another data point says that the worst hit are actually Gen Z and Gen X. A vast majority of teens today are living with borderline to almost severe sleep deprivation. It has led to a rise in lots of complications, cardiac, nervous ailments, and it has also resulted in lower cognition, focus, and concentration.
The problem is so big that there are entire sleep industries now. You have sleep sellers that are on the rise. You have mattress makers, you have different sleep trackers. Some of these are just apps that you already have on your phone. Some that will just calm you, meditation apps you can follow. Sleep coaches that are all trying to make this idea of sleep for each of us much better, much easier, much less anxious.
But on the program today, our idea is to sort of bust some myths and bring you some actionable ideas on how to improve your sleep. Because remember, sleep impacts weight loss, sleep impacts dementia, sleep impacts heart disease, sleep impacts stroke, sleep even impacts your mood. We all know that already, right? So basically, a good quality sleep is as essential, and we need to plan our sleep as well as we plan our day.
So one of the things we love to do here on TBC, of course, is to go over to the experts. Let's introduce our guest for today. We have Dr. Anita Matthews. She's joining us. She's the Director for Internal Medicine at the Fortis Hospital. Let's go over to her with our first question. Doctor, good morning.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us, Doctor. Doctor, are you seeing more patients come in with sleeping disorders compared to, for example, 10 years ago?
Good morning, everyone. Definitely, we are seeing more number of patients who walk in, but probably not with the sleep disorder as the predominant complaint. What they do come in is with a vague set of complaints, and then on inquiry, they also let us know that they are deprived of sleep as well. So probably what they are assuming is another disease is probably a masked sleep deprivation.
I see. I see. So a lot of people who are coming in with general complaints don't understand that it's actually sleep deprivation that's leading to it. But our data suggests, and a lot of anecdotal evidence out there, that Gen Z and Gen X are mostly more at the borderline of this sleep insomnia. They're also called the zombie generation. Are you, have you been able to narrow down into why that happens? Of course, technology and the amount of influence it has on us has a major role to play.
It's a multifactorial thing. So, of course, the technology, the number of devices that you really have with you, they all do play a major role in the reason why people are chronically sleep deprived. But there are other factors as well. The stress levels are on the rise. The number of working hours are huge. You have a huge amount of time that is required to commute from point A to point B as compared to what it used to be in the past. All of these are also adding up. Plus, there are a lot of more people in probably the generation X which fly cross country, right? So, they do get jet lagged. That's also one of the reasons why they then tend to have chronic sleep deprivation.
Right, right.
And doctor, are there some tips that people can follow? You know, you hear things like don't use your phone in the last hour, don't have a certain kind of light around you. Just tell us, which are the tips that you actually stand by?
The first and the foremost is to try and change the lifestyle. So, your eating pattern. So, try and eat early, you know, especially the dinner. So, having the dinner by about 6:37 is probably the best thing to do. May not be doable for everyone, but if one could do that, that would be helpful. The second would be to try and have a pattern in which you are going to go off to sleep in the night at a particular fixed time point, irrespective of come what may. So, it's not work hard and party hard. So, have a disciplined kind of a life there, that would probably help you really much. The third is to get off all your devices as much as possible. All your devices means it spans even the television set by about, say, you know, 1.5 hours before you go to bed. Avoid having a coffee or a tea multiple times a day. That actually boosts your system. So, they probably will make you stay awake for a longer bit of a time. So, reducing that might help. Alcohol is considered to be helpful in inducing sleep in certain, but it reduces the quality of sleep. So, avoid alcohol as much as possible. These are simple things that can be done to reduce, and people don't or rather can't get off the devices early. So, one of the things that they can do is to sit and write stuff, read stuff that might actually help in inducing sleep.
Right, so it's about going back to basics and ensuring that you're keeping all these gadgets
Precisely,
away as much as possible. And it gets even more difficult for Gen Z because they're practically, their homework is also on their laptops and their iPads, right? So there's so much of integration that is perhaps one of the reasons.
One of the major reasons why they have.
Right. Doc, you know, the problem of insomnia has led to this entire sleep industry sort of crop up. Now, even if you go to a regular departmental store or you go to your chemist, there are these constant medicines out there that one can see, you know, sleep inducing or helping in sound sleep or sprays, etc. So, I have a couple of questions for you that we want to bust myths on, right? So, what about these over-the-counter available nutraceutical tablets or even these melting in your mouth strips that say that they help in sleep? Do they work?
There is no data to really suggest that they work. So, I wouldn't really advocate them.
Okay, okay. But what about the other popular one, which is on sleeping mattresses? All these mattresses out there which promise you the most beautiful sleep.
All that you need is a comfortable, firm, not so soft mattress. You need pillows which are just right for your neck. I mean, if you have a neck problem, invest in a neck-based pillow. Make sure that your pillows and your mattresses are changed periodically. Something like 8 years for mattress and 2 to 3 years for pillows is what is generally advocated in the medical circles. Try doing that. That's all that is required. You don't need to invest in fancy stuff.
Okay, then all these fancy mattresses then saying that they will give you the most dreamy, beautiful sleep is really not working then. But what about these sprays? A lot of them are pillow sprays and fragrances and candles. They're supposed to put you in this sleeping mood. You're smiling on that one.
So, all that we need to understand here that maybe it works for certain individuals, but this is what we believe in evidence-based medicine to really suggest that these would help you to or lull you to sleep.
Okay, so no evidence, but if it's helping in your mood, maybe there's no...
Yeah, there's no harm in doing it as well, as long as you're not an asthmatic.
All right.
Because
yeah.
all of those aromas might just trigger an episode of the same.
True. Last two ones then that we've got for you. These sleeping apps which are all a rage these days, do you think they work?
They are again apps, they are again on your devices. So the best thing to do is to stay off them as much as possible. In certain set of individuals, they might be helpful. But for people who are chronically sleep deprived, people who are completely insomniac, maybe that's not one of the best things to do.
I see. Not really advisable.
No, not really advisable in most of the individuals.
So Toya, these apps are really not working then?
Yeah, I also need to ask here, tell us doctors, if we do everything, say we followed all these steps and we find ourselves, we go to bed at the right time, we're in bed say by 9 p.m. and say by 11 in the night, 12 in the night, because this is sometimes what happens, you follow all the steps, you're in bed, but neend hi nahi aa rahi tab bhi. Then what do you suggest to our TBC family? Is there a hack you found that works in the middle of the night, when you've tried all these biological things, how do you then put your mind to rest?
So, we need to understand that a daily dose of exercise actually helps, but when I am saying exercise is not just before going to bed exercise, because that might energize you. So, you are supposed to do some bit of exercise in the morning which might actually help you. Meditation helps, but again not just about the time that you are going to sleep, a regular meditation pattern will help you. If you are not falling asleep on your bed, make a point to get up, do something in the form of reading or doing whatever bit that you can. Again, stay off devices, but use your bedroom only for sleeping at that particular time point. The minute we start doing too many things or activities there, it creates an issue.
But that's what's slightly confusing. Something like reading, tell us, how come that doesn't end up being something that's activating your brain?
Have you realized how as a student we used to go off to sleep the minute we would take in a a book in our hand? It has a similar kind of an effect.
Fascinating.
Right? So probably pick up your children's books, probably we all will go off to sleep at that time point. So that's why we also have these apps which tell you stories.
Yeah.
Right? So they are supposed to get you to sleep. So you do go off to sleep at that particular time point. But there is no one mantra which will help you to sleep immediately. So if you are continuously having this sleep deprivation for a couple of days, it is a time to go off to and meet with your physician, because they might be able to pick up some diseases which may not be something that you may have thought of. So there are conditions which causes sleep related issues, and those need to be then looked into.
Okay, and
There is another myth about sleeping, which again, those questions that we had for you, if we can prop them up on the screen as well. It's on having milk before sleeping. It's like this age-old phenomena, as our dadis and nannies would say, कि दूध पी के सोएंगे तो अच्छी नींद आएगी. Does that really work, or is it a myth again?
It does work in certain individuals. I wouldn't say no for it, but we do need to understand that milk by itself contains something called as a tryptophan, which is a sleep inducer, because it's a precursor of the melatonin that is generally available. Right? Now the difficulty is the amount of tryptophan which is there in the content of milk is something that is going to be debatable. Right? So you can't really say that that's a sleep inducer. For some individuals it might work, but for some individuals it might actually lead to reflux.
Yeah, if you're lactose intolerant.
If you can also, even aging, even if you're not lactose intolerant, even aging will increase your risk of reflux if you eat something, and that's the precise reason I said eating early.
Doctor, can you also
Right?
tell us, because everything we're discussing right now, one thing that's still tricky for our viewers is how do you know that it's bad? So how many nights of sleep, for example, would you tell our audiences, okay, this is a problem, versus no, this is something that will pass, don't worry, maybe next week you'll be different, you don't yet need to go visit a doctor. How do audiences decide that for themselves?
So the only thing that I would tell you is that let's say for a period of a month, 15-20 days you could be under stressor. So you may still not be in a position to sleep, but for a month if it is continuing, and if it hampers your cognition, your basic behavioral pattern, if you are sleepy in the daytime, if your partner or whoever sleeps next to you tells you that you have been snoring, right? And if you have periodically been putting on weight or having a water retention, these are signs that there is something going seriously wrong with your body, and that's the time point that you should be visiting your doc.
All right then. So those are lots of things on when to sort of to understand the science of sleep, which is so complex, I guess. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much
for joining us and giving us all that perspective. So clearly, you know, as a young mom, I can say I don't get enough sleep at all, and I don't know when it's going to get better either. But Toya, how about you? How's your sleep cycle these days?
That's the tricky thing, you know. Not only is my sleep bad, and I'm not even like you, Sonal, I don't have a young child to take care of at home, and still my sleep is badgered absolutely. And I also, you know, the funny thing is there's so much fake science or faux science that's floating around. Recently, I read, for example, that women need to sleep much longer than men do. Women need at least 9, 10, 11 hours. Men can do with 6 hours. Then I looked into it, and it didn't seem like the studies were consistent. So it still feels like an area that's kind of in the cutting edge of, you know, research in terms of how much we know about it.
Yeah, just breathe, I guess. You know, breathe it in, breathe it out, and take it easy. I think stress levels, that's the bottom line of everything that we are tackling with these days. But on that note, talking about breathing, you've got a guest with you.
Right, right. So one of the things we've discussed right now is the importance of movement in this entire story. And we've often discussed the goodness of yoga and all of this. We have with us Dr. Ankita. I'm just going to go over to her. She's an MBBS with us. She's with us here. She's an art of living instructor, and she's an osteopath in her own right. So ma'am, I'm going to refer to you as doctor through this entire demonstration. We also have our colleague Sonal, who's joining us right now from the Mumbai studio. So we're going to be starting off, I believe, doctor, with some things that Sonal can also follow along with, our audiences can also follow along with at home.
Sure.
Correct? Can you just tell us a little bit?
Yes, you know, in this fast-paced world with so many stresses and distractions, getting a peaceful night's sleep can be extremely challenging. And also because productivity takes precedence over rest these days, we don't give that importance to rest. First and foremost, I was reading that it was saying that is Gen Z the new zombie. They have to first understand that sleep is important. It's not something that's just giving us rest, or it's just okay, you know, so that I can be going again in the morning, let me just sleep and rest. It's not just that. A lot of physiological things in our body are also happening when we are asleep. The whole formation of our memory, the long-term memory, that happens when we sleep. So if we are not sleeping, I am also having an impact on my long-term memory and short-term memory. If I am not sleeping well, I am having an impact on my hormonal imbalance in the body. Also, you know, in the brain, at any time when we are awake, for you and me right now, there's so much electricity being generated that can power a night bulb here. If so much electricity is being produced, there's obviously so much waste which is also being produced. This waste, you know, it has a fancy name, beta amyloids. This gets wiped off when we are asleep. So it is very important. Now we need to give this little time to sleep. So first is we need a winding down ritual, like doctor was also telling bedtime stories. We had that, right?
Do you have one to show us, maybe?
Yes, we'll show you some bedtime rituals. It can be either reading, it can be singing, listening to music, but certain things are mudras that we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are mudras? Mudras are basically hand gestures which allow for good flow of prana in the body. So just 3 simple ones have been to have great importance for giving good night's sleep. First, we can do the prana mudra. So the last 3 fingers, they touch each other.
Okay, let's just see.
And the first 2 fingers are straight. And we can just put them in our lap and we breathe. So when we breathe, the exhalations can be longer than the inhalations.
So exhalations, you said, so the breathing out is longer than
the breathing out longer than breathing in. Why? When we breathe out longer, we are stimulating the vagus nerve, which is the most important nerve for the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest mode of the body.
And why these fingers?
Because, you know, all fingers have our different elements. They are associated with different elements, and when we can balance them around, it allows for better sleep. This is the earth and water element, the last 2 fingers. Yeah, but we use all of them. Yeah. The next we can do the Shakti Mudra, which is on the thumb. We wrap the first 2 fingers.
Okay.
The index finger and the middle finger are wrapping
we also have
on
Sonal
the
joining
thumb.
us. Yeah, let's just check in with her
and
too.
then
I'm just wondering if you've got that right, Doc.
yes, you've got it absolutely right, Sonal.
There we go.
And the last 2 fingers are touching each other.
Right. Right.
Just touch the tips of the little and ring finger to each other.
Yes.
Yes. And we can just put it near the navel.
So now the
This
the
is
fingers
perfect.
are touching.
Yes,
Okay,
the two
okay.
fingers are touching near the navel, and same thing we breathe. Breathing is most important.
Can we sit, like if one is sitting, you know, like you do on a desk with your feet
You
down,
can
that's
do
okay.
it.
Sit-
That's
the sitting doesn't
absolutely
matter.
all right.
Okay, okay.
Sitting doesn't matter.
Okay, right now.
You can even do it on a recliner. Another important mudra that helps us is the dhyani mudra. So on the left hand we can put the right hand, yeah,
Okay.
and we touch the tips of thumb to each other. Yes. For you, Sonal, I'm showing it behind.
So it's like a
Yeah.
lovely, it's like a little diamond or a triangle.
Correct.
What are we looking
like
for?
a little diamond.
Okay, okay.
You got that right.
Okay.
And we can place it near the navel again and just breathe.
Doctor, does this have anything to do with, you know, the chakras that they talk about? Is that this?
Not really much, but yes, when the attention is around the navel, the sleep is better. So if we put our hands here, it's automatically going. That's one less thing to think about. You don't have to take your awareness anywhere. But yes, the Yoga Nidra practice, where you take your awareness to different parts of the body just when you lie down, that helps a lot. Yeah. Then certain particular way of breathing, you know, like I was saying, the out breath being longer than the in breath. Similarly, if we are just blowing air out of the mouth through a very small opening.
How? It's a very, very small opening. Okay.
Very small, like a straw. You're, you know, throwing air through a straw. Have you seen kids, they take water and they put the straw and they just bubble the water and they get some weird pleasure out of it. Irritating for people around, but they find it pleasurable. The pleasure is for real. Because you are stimulating your vagus nerve, you are being relaxed unconsciously. So we can use it consciously to relax ourselves also. And we don't need a straw and water for that. You can just breathe like that. This helps. Even, you know, tapping. When you just tap areas of the head.
Okay, is there a pattern to how you're tapping
Not
your head?
really, not really. Just tapping, the hands must be loose. That's the only thing. Some people keep it very tight and tap, it won't work.
There
So
we should
just
also check it.
tapping a little.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about the hairstyle, just tap. I think women get a little conscious with the hairstyle when they are tapping. But anyways, you'll do it
But
in
you're just
bed.
doing it's a
That's
slight.
like
just
it's
a
like
tap.
knocking yourself to sleep.
Yeah. You know, we do rock babies, you know, to sleep.
Yeah.
So we do that, and also little stroking. Very gentle
This is
stroking
so
on the
lovely.
face.
Basically, आप अपने घर पे spa बना दो.
Exactly. स्पा में रिलैक्स तो हो ही जाते हैं, थोड़ी देर बाद उठने को मन नहीं करता है.
How come we're only focusing on the facial region?
You don't need to focus more. We will do when we lie down certain asanas, which will allow us to help with
Can
the
we
thing.
see those too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just lie down.
Okay, tell us
Yeah.
how.
So on your back.
Okay.
So we basically just come here. You can, your
Yes.
head can be here. On the back we lie down.
Yes.
And we bring the knees to the chest, like we are hugging our knees.
Wait, I just want to look at you once.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are just hugging our knees. Sonal,
Yes.
you can watch us and do it later at night. Later tell me how it was for you.
Okay, so we're hugging our knees.
Yeah, and then we just rock like a
Rocking.
baby from side to side. Yeah, so we create a cradle for ourselves. Rocking action can naturally calm the nervous system down. So just rocking a little, it's very good.
Yeah,
And
this
then
is
we can
true
hold
actually
the
because
big
when you
toes
rock
with
your
our
baby to
hands.
sleep, half the time you fall asleep
And then
yourself.
just again keep rocking, moving the legs here and there, just like how you would have seen small babies do it.
Yeah. Like a
Yeah,
baby
you
in a
know, they
crib,
want to
literally.
take their thumbs and take it to their mouth. We don't want to do that.
Okay.
But it helps. You know, and the last one, another thing that really, really helps is we can put the arms behind the head and we just twist.
Must look at you.
You know, just twist. Legs to one side, head to the other, and then again legs to the other side and head to the first side.
Yes.
So this twist again, it's something that really relaxes the spine, all the nerves that are passing through the spine, and stay in the posture. We want to relax, so we don't want to do like really quick, but just staying there for a while. That is something that can help us.
Doctor, may I ask, is this
Yes.
particular pose you've made us do, because this one
Yes.
has a bit of a stretch
Yes.
involved.
Yeah.
Is this something where you'd say if you're a certain age, don't attempt? Or?
Not really.
Okay.
You're doing it in your bed, and
It's
see,
safe.
Whenever we are lying down, we eliminate the effect of gravity on the spine, so it is very safe for all ages.
Okay.
Everyone can do. In fact, we suggest people who can't do it by themselves, we tell someone that take help of someone and allow them to do this stretch for you. It will really help you.
I think
Yeah.
let's go back to Sonal. Sonal?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Ankita, I must say, after all those relaxing exercises, I definitely wanted to, sort of understand and get a little sleepy, feeling a little sleepy myself. But having said that, is that a lot of people who struggle with insomnia? And, we kind of keep emphasizing on it's not the duration you spend on the bed, it's the quality of sleep. Is this something one can do to perhaps ensure if they're struggling with it? Is it for those at a chronic level or a general practice as well?
Both. One is sleep is something, it requires a little patience and consistency. Like doctor was also mentioning earlier, that you need to have that particular time of sleeping, particular ritual of sleeping. In your sleep ritual, you can have these asanas and pranayamas. For someone who's having disturbed sleep, it will help them. And for someone who doesn't have disturbed sleep, it will give them a deeper sleep. Yeah, and also for people who get short sleep hours, like you have a baby, maybe you fall asleep and then in 2 hours you have to wake up again. Then you can just use these things to fall asleep again. Many times people wake up and they find it difficult to fall asleep again. So this is something that can help them as well.
Okay.
And when practiced over a period of time, it helps. The Sudarshan Kriya Yoga. Personally, for me, when I did it for a period of time, I was in medical college. We had long hours, right? 24 hours duty, 36 hours duty. I realized my sleep was going for a toss. But with the Sudarshan Kriya Yoga practice over a long time, that helped me a lot to get my sleep back on track. So for a long-term
I
practice,
see.
that is also something that people can learn and practice.
Thank you so much.
Well, Dr. Ankita, this has been very, very helpful, educational. We are definitely going to try it out and see if it improves our quality of sleep at least. My favorite is the rocking baby pose because this is what my baby does as well. And I can promise to our viewers, just doing that puts you to sleep as well. Thanks so much for joining us. On that
Thank
note,
you
we've got
for
another
having me.
message for you. This one coming in from Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar, who's got a message on how to sleep right. Take a look.
What is that which keeps you away from sleeping? Wanting to do something. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. What if you are gone? Suppose today is the last day, you are gone. Then what is there for you to do? Remember that you are going to die one day. And death won't wait for you to complete a job and then you will die. Whether you are complete, incomplete, death will come and take you away. Once you know this, the end, in the movies there is the last scene that comes, the end. The end is going to come. Once you know that, okay, right now let me be at peace, you will fall asleep. So this is what would help you to have a little bit detachment for whatever work you are doing. Your work is like your shoes or your coat. Remember, when you go home, you don't go to bed with your shoes and coat, do you?
Okay, and now from all that you can do to sleep a little better, we're going to a very, very different segment. We're taking you to the exciting world, the adrenaline-filled world of sports. After the break, the challenger Gukesh and the champion Sharath Kamal join us right here on TBC. We'll see you in just a few moments.
The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution of the country's wealth and jobs. Now, top BJP sources say on the Prime Minister's statement that the Prime Minister messages around 3 statements from the Congress camp which are very much on record. Number 1, Rahul Gandhi's statement on April 6 about the wealth redistribution promise. Manmohan Singh's statement in 2006 about the first right of minorities, and the Congress manifesto that speaks about minorities getting their fair share. The BJP is saying that the Congress needs to explain what its intentions are through such statements and promises. Rahul Gandhi had mentioned the redistribution as a sequel to the already promised caste census. To quote Mr. Rahul Gandhi from his April 6th rally in Hyderabad, "We will do a caste census so that the backwards, SCs, STs, poor of the general caste and minorities get to know how much they account for in the country. After that," Mr. Rahul Gandhi said, "we will do a financial and an institutional survey to find who holds the country's wealth, what section holds it, and then we will undertake the revolutionary work that whatever is your right, we will work on giving you the same." Mr. Gandhi said, be it the media, the bureaucracy, or all institutions, Congress will create the space for you there and give you the right. This speech of Rahul Gandhi was uploaded by the Congress party even on its official website. Now, Mr. Modi is linking this to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's 2006 statement. The Prime Minister has attacked Manmohan Singh's particular statement to question if the Congress would redistribute wealth amongst the Muslim community, linking it to the statement of the Prime Minister in 2006, Manmohan Singh, on who should have the country's first right to the resources. The PMO then in 2006 had clarified that Manmohan Singh meant that the first claim on resources would be of SCs, STs, OBC, women, children and the minorities. However, the BJP has put out portions of Manmohan Singh's 2006 speech to say that he clearly said that India will have to devise innovative plans to ensure that the minorities, particularly the Muslim minority, are empowered to share equitably in the fruits of development, and they must have the first claim on resources. The Congress is now countering that the BJP has been ignoring the earlier part of the same statement, which said that the Prime Minister then Manmohan Singh believed that the collective priorities are clear, that the essential public investment needs of general infrastructure along with programs need to be made for upliftment of not just the minorities but also SC, STs, other backward classes, women and children. The BJP, however, is going more into history and citing more examples of speeches by Singh to make a case that the Congress has always believed in
Welcome back. This is the Breakfast Club. Let's very quickly take you to stories taking place across the country and the world. First, let's fly over to Europe. According to a new report, Europe is heating up at a startling pace, nearly double the global average. Experts warn of dire consequences for health, for glaciers and for the economy. The UN's World Met Organization and the European Union's climate agency, Copernicus, they're urging the continent to develop targeted strategies for accelerating the transition to renewable resources like wind, like solar and like hydroelectric power.
While the first drug to slow Alzheimer's disease has been available for over a year, doctors now anticipate patients' hesitancy due to its limited impact and potential side effects. They emphasize the need to further research to optimize its use and improve diagnosis. While the drug can delay disease progression for a few months, some experts now argue that the effects may be too subtle for patients to perceive.
And in Kerala, high alert gripping the state as a bird flu outbreak is sparking concern. Authorities have stepped up 12 checkposts. This is along the Tamil Nadu-Kerala border. There are reports of the H5N1 virus in Alappuzha. Officials, however, have said that there's nothing to panic and the situation remains in control.
Dolly Chaiwala, known for serving tea to Bill Gates, is now making headlines again, this time for his coffee adventure at Burj Khalifa in Dubai. The video shows Dolly enjoying his cup of coffee at the top of Burj Khalifa. The clip which has so far amazed over 13 million people.
The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution of the country's wealth and jobs. Now, top BJP sources say on the Prime Minister's statement that the Prime Minister messages around 3 statements from the Congress camp which are very much on record. Number 1, Rahul Gandhi's statement on April 6 about the wealth redistribution promise, Manmohan Singh's statement in 2006 about the first right of minorities, and the Congress manifesto that speaks about minorities getting their fair share. The BJP is saying that the Congress needs to explain what its intentions are through such statements and promises. Rahul Gandhi had mentioned the redistribution as a sequel to the already promised caste census. To quote Mr. Rahul Gandhi from his April 6th rally in Hyderabad, "We will do a caste census so that the backwards, SCs, STs, poor of the general caste and minorities get to know how much they account for in the mind, who holds the country's wealth, what section holds it, and then we will undertake the revolutionary work that whatever is your right, we will work on giving you the same." Mr. Gandhi said, be it the media, the bureaucracy, or all institutions, Congress will create the space for you there and give you the right. This speech of Rahul Gandhi was uploaded by the Congress party even on its official website. Now, Mr. Modi is linking this to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's 2006 statement. The Prime Minister has attacked Manmohan Singh's particular statement to question if the Congress would redistribute wealth amongst the Muslim community, linking it to the statement of the Prime Minister in 2006, Manmohan Singh, on who should have the country's first right to the resources. The PMO then in 2006 had clarified that Manmohan Singh meant that the first claim on resources would be of SCs, STs, OBC, women, children and the minorities. However, the BJP has put out portions of Manmohan Singh's 2006 speech to say that he clearly said that India will have to devise innovative plans to ensure that the minorities, particularly the Muslim minority, are empowered to share equitably in the fruits of development, and they must have the first claim on resources. The Congress is now countering that the BJP has been ignoring the earlier part of the same statement, which said that the Prime Minister then Manmohan Singh believed that the collective priorities are clear, that the essential public investment needs of general infrastructure along with programs need to be made for upliftment of not just the minorities but also SC, STs, other backward classes, women and children. The BJP, however, is going more into history and citing more examples of speeches by Singh to make a case that the Congress has always believed
Welcome back. Today is World Table Tennis Day, and there's truly no better moment to be celebrating it right here in India. Last month, India's men and women's teams created history by qualifying for the upcoming Paris Olympics.
So we thought let's put a sort of a spotlight on India's tries to win table tennis through the decades. Now remember, there have been about 8 times national champion Kamlesh Mehta, currently the Secretary General of the Table Tennis Federation as well, and considered the first star for Indian table tennis. He became the first paddler for India to qualify as well, and this was for Olympics in 1988.
He's really considered the first big name on the scene. But right after that, there is Sharath Kamal, who's known as the game changer. He revolutionized Indian table tennis, it's believed. He broke Mehta, who we just spoke about, his record for national titles. And he's 41 today, and he's still showing absolutely no signs of slowing down.
There's also G. Satyan and Harpreet Desai, and we haven't even gotten to the trailblazing women in the table tennis space. There is Manika Batra, Shrija Akula, and these days table tennis is a packed field, one of the top 10 most popular sports even in India.
And it really hasn't always been that way. That's what's so incredible, that this shift has happened just over the last few decades. To tell us more about this long journey, we have with us India's flag bearer this year at the Paris Olympics, Sharath Kamal. Let's go over to him. Sir, you've been active on this scene since the early 2000s and you continue to scale new heights in your 40s, as we were just telling our audiences. How have you seen the table tennis scene change over the last few decades?
I think the basic idea of sport being professional, that idea has come into being. So 10 years ago, sport was predominantly a hobby, a passion, and not many people knew that you could have a living out of sport and you could do it professionally and follow your passion to the fullest. That was including with my own family members, and when I started winning international medals, a lot of them would still ask, it's better that you study, you have some bachelors or masters, stuff like that. By that time, I'd already become the first Indian to win a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, and still people were talking that way because that was the awareness back then. And I think in the last 10 years, 10 or slightly more, after London Olympic Games, a lot of things have changed into being more professional.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what's happening currently in the scene. This year is also the first time both men and women tennis teams have qualified for the Olympics. You've of course mentored them as well. What is the focus at this stage? Do you think India is ready?
So team championships was introduced back in 2008. 2008 was the first time we had team championships. Until then, it was singles and doubles. Then they started singles and team championships. In team championships, you would have a doubles event. So that's how they tried to include a couple of more players in the team and give more opportunities for players. So 2008 was the first time when the team was introduced. And back then, we were not very high in the rankings. We were around 30, 20, 28 or 30 in the world rankings. So we didn't even stand a chance to qualify. The closest that we got was in Tokyo. It was for Tokyo, where our career best ranking for India was 10 in the world. We were in the top 10. There was 1 month where we were also 9 in the world. So that's been the highest that we've done. But we've come this far, from being 30 to around 10 in the world in a span of nearly 12, 13 years. So we've come a very far way. But when we missed out in Tokyo, we felt quite disappointed. We expected to make it there, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So my primary goal after Tokyo Olympic Games was to just qualify for the team championships at the Paris Olympic Games.
Wow, so number 30 to number 10 world over in, I think you're saying, a little more than a decade. That's incredible. Can you tell us, athletes from China, the men and the women's rankings, athletes from China continue their domination of table tennis. When you watch hundreds of Indians training every single day, do you see something unique in the Indian temperament that Indians are bringing to the sport on the table?
As an Indian race by itself, across fields, not just sport, but across fields, as Indians, we are very, very competitive. We want to be, always, we want to be better than people around, or, you always set goals, you're always working quite hard. We as a race are pretty hardworking guys, because I've seen this across fields. Because I think also because with the population that we have, everybody needs to, make sure that they're able to push beyond the competition so that they're able to do better. So as Indian players, when we go abroad, also a lot of the foreign coaches, a lot of the support staff, they're very, very happy to have us in the training group, just because there's very less fuss and we are always willing to work, trying to get better within ourselves. So that's something which we've got very well. And in the recent time, especially in the World Championships in Korea that happened, our Indian girls played their first match against China in the World Championships, in the World Team Championships, and we were 2-1 ahead of China. This was the first time I think India has ever got into this kind of a situation where we won two matches in a five match tie, and we were ahead of China, which very few teams across the world get into that kind of an opportunity.
Yeah. So, Sharath, we're speaking to you on Table Tennis Day, right? If there are young people who want to pick up the table tennis racket today, get inspired, there are others who are already in the game. Do you have some piece of advice for them?
Well, I think rather than grooming the talents in the younger kids, there's a lot more grooming that has to be done to the parents these days. Because I am a parent myself. I have two kids. I can clearly see if somebody is able to tell me, okay, man, just do this, and this, the kid will just have his or her own way, and they will figure it out. It's a lot easier because we're telling the kids, okay, this is what you have to do, but then are we giving them the right channel, let's say, the right kind of exposure, or are we not rubbing out our expectations and our expectations and the pressure from within us onto the kids? So we need to let them blossom as they do, but at the same time, even as a parent, I would like to have some amount of mentoring from the coaches, from the senior players, trying to understand, okay, this is what has to be done. You need to work on the physical fitness, and that is why we need 45 minutes or 1 hour in a day. Then we need to have table tennis for 2-3 hours, and to make sure that the kid does well over the long run. It's a long process. We can't expect results in 2 to 3 years.
All right then. Thanks so much for joining us there and sharing your perspective, and good luck to all the tennis players out there, table tennis players out there who are also going in for Olympics. But it's time to bring on our next guest now, somebody who's already a champ. He's just 17. We can't get over the fact. But of course, we got to speak with him. Who am I talking about, Toya?
You're talking, obviously, and I just want to tell our audiences, D. Gukesh. We spoke yesterday to his parents, his mentor Vishwanath Anand. He created history in two very special ways. And we're just going to go over to him and ask him more questions about not just yesterday, but also about what this moment is like. Sonal, do you want to go?
Hi, Gukesh, welcome, good morning to the Breakfast Club. Thanks so much for joining us. Firstly, big congratulations on this massive achievement that you've had. We are told you're a man of few words, but how are you enjoying and taking in this moment?
Yeah, I feel so relieved and so happy. The last day was, throughout the tournament it was stressful, but the last day especially was so stressful, and I'm so glad things went my way. Yeah, it has been a wonderful 3 weeks, and it all ended well. So.
Gukesh, the current world champion is China's Ding Liren, and you're going to face off with him in a battle for that chess crown. And we've also read this is going to be the first ever men's world championship title clash that won't have a European player. So it's already historic. How will you be preparing?
Yeah, after I won the tournament, I haven't had too much time to think about the match, but obviously I'm super excited to be playing for the world title. And Ding is a strong player. He has many achievements to his name, but once we go there, it'll be fully competitive, and only the match who is in the better shape in the match will matter. And obviously, I'll try to give my absolute best. I'll prepare I'll prepare well. I'll try to go there with full motivation, full energy, and yeah, let's see how it goes.
And we hope it goes well, Gukesh. But I have to understand from you, I keep coming back to your age there. You're just 17. I'm sure there are celebrations at home. Or is it a quiet, intense one, just like your game approach as well? And how do 17-year-olds celebrate becoming or challenging the world champions?
I'm not really someone who celebrates a lot actually, but for me, celebration would mean going back home, spending time with family, friends. That's yeah, that's pretty much all I need to enjoy the moment.
And tell us, lastly, what are the skills that you think over the next few months you need to really zero in on?
No, obviously I still have a lot of things to improve. I have been constantly improving, and there's still a long, long way to go. It's a never-ending journey. I've become more universal than I was before, and I have more emotional control now than before. I guess that came with more maturity, but obviously all these things I can only improve from here. So yeah, I'll try to improve every single thing about myself and try to reach my full potential.
Gukesh, thank you for taking the time out to meet the TBC family. All the best of luck for that very important match that's coming up. All the best of luck from the TBC side. Let's go on from the world of chess now. We'll shift focus to the world of cricket, getting you all of the highlights from Monday's RR versus MI IPL match. We'll just bring you all the breakdowns. Firstly, Yashasvi Jaiswal scoring 100 as Rajasthan Royals defeated Mumbai Indians by 9 wickets.
But there was rain interruption, but RR completed the chase of 180 with 8 balls to spare. This is RR's 7th win in the 8 matches, adding up to their table topping status. As always, Jamie Alter has the details.
Another dominating win for Rajasthan Royals for the second time this season against Mumbai Indians. That's right, the unstoppable Royals remain at number 1 on the IPL points table, and they have won 7 now out of 8 to get to 14 points. Now remember, normally in an IPL season, you look at 14 points and say, that's pretty well done as we reach the business end of the tournament. But right now, literally at the halfway mark of this IPL, the Royals are looking so good, so balanced, so well oiled that they've gotten to 14 points, and now their progression to the playoffs looks like a foregone conclusion. Not the same for Mumbai Indians, who remain at number 7, and once again will probably look back at an innings of fits and starts backed by another very poor bowling performance in which the fielding was also, quite sloppy, to be honest. But the main story of the day, keeping in mind not just RR's campaign, but also the importance of the T20 World Cup starting on the 1st of June, is the return to form for young Yashasvi Jaiswal, the same Jaiswal who did amazing things in IPL 2023, which then saw him break into the Indian team in the Test formats and the T20 formats. And then less than a couple months ago, he got over 700 runs in a 5 Test match series. But in this IPL, before yesterday's match, things had not gone well for Jaiswal at all. In 7 innings, he had a high score of 39 before yesterday. And most concerning looking at Jaiswal's form before yesterday's match was that 6 times out of 7 matches he had not gotten out of the power play. And the one time he did manage to get out of the power play, as I said, there was no 50 but a rather slowish innings of 39. Many people were speculating, has Jaiswal played himself out of India's starting 11? Did he still have enough good faith with the BCCI selectors and the Indian team management to earn a spot in India's T20 World Cup squad, given his poor form and the way that other openers have been performing in this IPL? But, like I said, in RR's final home match at the Sawai Man Singh Stadium in Jaipur, the Royals gave their fans a win. And the big man on the day was Yashasvi Jaiswal. 104 not out of just 60 balls, 8 fours, 7 sixes, including one of Jasprit Bumrah, which, let's face it, has become rather difficult for opposing batsmen to do this IPL. A massive statement from the young opener Jaiswal. Look at the visuals after the match, the way he looked teary-eyed, he looked overjoyed as he hugged all of his Rajasthan Royal teammates, especially Jos Buttler, the man who he's done some amazing things with over the last few seasons. Buttler also was inconsistent, but 200s to Buttler left many people wondering where is the second half of that awesome Rajasthan Royals opening pair. Buttler's got 200s. Will Jaiswal even get to one this season? All doubts were dispelled, all questions were answered thanks to Jaiswal's sterling knock yesterday. Really one that took the match away from Mumbai Indians and led RR to a 9-wicket win. The other positive from an RR perspective was the return of Sandeep Sharma. He'd been very good for RR in the season before, but they missed a couple of games due to injury and had not got his pace back. But slotting back in at the expense of Kuldeep Sen, he took 2 wickets in the first 2 overs he bowled and then 3 at the death to get 5 for 18, which went a long, long way, make no mistake, in pulling back Mumbai Indians to a very achievable total and not anywhere near the realm of 200. So 5 wickets to Sandeep Sharma and an unbeaten 100 from Jaiswal have kept RR Juggernaut rolling. And now we have to wonder how soon, how many more days, how many more matches will it take this fantastic, well-balanced team to confirm their place in the IPL playoffs.
Okay, and now we bring you a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's take a look at the markets first. GIFT Nifty indicates a stable opening for Indian stock markets. Crude oil and gold prices soften as tensions in the Middle East are seemingly easing. US markets close higher. Investors eye the earnings of big tech companies. Asian markets follow US stocks and open higher.
Let's look at sectors then. In demand for transportation fuels and petroleum chemicals, the feedstock over there is on the rise. In tandem, there is an increase in the demand for heating equipment catering to these user industries as well. A company with strength in home as well as export markets will find itself at a vantage position here. Is there an opportunity for investors then? Well, you can log on to Money Control Pro to find out more about the chemical sector and other actionable insights. It is a premium destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control. All right, with that, it's a wrap on today's edition of the Breakfast Club. We told you all about sleep, about TT. Tomorrow, we will talk about food. So come right back, join us tomorrow, 8 a.m.
And hopefully it'll be after a night of restful sleep. Goodbye.
The Lok Sabha election campaign got heated on Sunday as Prime Minister Narendra Modi chose to take on Rahul Gandhi's April 6 statement in Hyderabad, which had promised a financial and an institutional survey for the redistribution